Okay, guys, I want to show you their snap caps in here. When I do single rounds, I only do it so that I'm proficient. I don't keep doing it over and over again. I just do it maybe 2 cylinders full every few days just to make sure I'm proficient. And I'll show you what I mean by that. When you're indexing the revolver to load a single round, you got your thumb right here in that indentation or valley and your finger here. Usually on a 6-shot, it's like this right here. So index finger and thumb orients the cylinder in the way you want it, so you could put one in the chamber at 1 o'clock right here. So if you notice 1 o'clock, I can stick one in there right there and simply just come up like that, and it's ready to rock and roll. So the application of this is if you didn't have speed loaders or speed strips or something like that, and let's say you had to get in a gunfight or something and you took cover and you're using your rounds wisely, and let's say that you had a pocket full of these, or like I have a pouch, Crossman pellet pouch, I keep them in here on my front side on my belt so I can reach them quickly. So anyway, you'd reach in, grab a round, put it at 1 o'clock, and then push 12 o'clock up. And that way it's ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to just go through each of these revolvers showing you how I do it here. And like I said, I just go through 2 cylinders every once in a while just to make sure I'm proficient. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to wear the lock up here. The locking lug right here, I don't want to wear out parts. So I only do it just to make sure I'm proficient, so that if I have to defend myself, then I'll know what to do. When I get the cylinder open, if I want to just put in 1 round, I'll know how to do it and I'll be quick at it. So I'm going to do 2 rounds of this. I'll try to keep it on camera. So I'll start with it closed. So you go 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock, 12. All you have to do is bring 12 o'clock up. Once you find 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock up. And that's why you need to do indexing with your index finger and thumb. So them valleys really help you out a lot. Okay, so I went through this twice. Once again, what I'm doing is I'm taking my thumb on this 6-shooter and my index finger right here, so that every time the cylinder opens, the chambers are always going to be oriented the same way every time. When other people do it, I see them do it like this, where it's different each time. Well, if you take your index finger and thumb, you can load these up quickly and have the same orientation every single time of where them chambers are at. So all you have to do is say to yourself, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. See how easy that is? Okay, so enough of that. I'm not going to do it anymore because I'm proficient, but I just wanted to show you how that works. Now, let's try another one. You guys already know what these are because I showed you on YouTube already. Okay, so I'm going to do this one for you too. Okay. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Once again, the application of this is, let's say that you shot all 5, which you shouldn't do before you get to cover. Let's say you shot all 5 and you got to cover. Something like a speed loader or a speed strip. If you mess these up, just 1 round while you're loading, you mess up the whole strip. you mess this up, you mess up the whole speed loader, because if one gets stuck or one gets messed up, it affects all of them at the same time, and that slows you down. So even though you have less ammo, when you're behind cover, you have less ammo, at least you could pop one in real quick and you can get the guy if he comes around the corner. Now, the thing I want to say about private defense or private citizen defense situations, typically, if you're smart with the revolver and you get to cover, they're not going to come to your position of cover. It's extremely rare that somebody's going to want to gunfight you where they come to your cover, because that's a disadvantage to them. If they're stupid, they're going to come around the corner, because although you might think that they think that you're reloading or you're having trouble or whatever, they can't see you. So if they're smart, they're going to think to themselves, hey, I don't know if I want to go around the corner because he might be loaded or he might not be loaded. I don't know. Or he might be doing something like that. See, I would do something like that on the guy, and he'd be pretty freaking surprised that I didn't take all my time using a speed loader or a speed strip, because I got in one round, and that one round, I make it count, and he's gone, okay? So, only for defense, only for immediate, unavoidable danger. That's where you try to get away. You can't get away. Somebody's pointing a gun at you. You have no choice but to shoot to defend yourself. So under them circumstances, based on a private citizen defense situation. So one more time, let's do that again. Index, finger, thumb, just remember that. So index, finger, thumb. If you look at my index, finger, and thumb, it's always going to orient the cylinder the same way every time, so that you can drop the bullet into the 1 o'clock chamber and just push up on the 12. Now 12 o'clock, all you have to remember is don't look at the whole cylinder, just look at that hole and look at your muzzle and just push it up to line it up there. See what I mean? That's all you have to think about. So don't overthink things. So when you're putting it in, you're going 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Simple as that. And when you first get started, it's going to be difficult. So the time when you index it like this with your index finger and thumb is when you're reaching for that round. So I'll show you what I mean. Reaching for the round. See that? Reaching for the round. And I'm trying to do this through the camera, so I might have messed that up. Let me do it again. So I'm looking through the camera. I'm not going to look through the camera, but I'm going to look over here where I should. So that way I can see everything. I can see my hands and the bullet. So I'm going to do that again. So if you had a pocket full of ammo, you could still stay in the fight, even though it's just a revolver, even though you're out of speed strips, even though you're out of speed loaders. Why? Because you can stay in the fight because you have loose ammo, either in your pocket or your pouch here, like that. And what happens with these pouches is your bullets, you just face the nose going this way. And then you put in like 15 in there, so that when you grab it, the nose is always facing the right direction. So it's kind of like a right side up version of a dump pouch, what they call a dump pouch. The older law enforcement dump pouches, you would grab under here, grab 1 or 2 rounds, and probably spill everything on the floor. This is much better of a pouch right here. And you would open it like this really quick, go in there and grab one. And it's Velcro. So thank God for Velcro. Velcro does come in handy for things. So there's that there. Another thing I wanted to show you was on your belt loop, you might have something like this gallon cartridge holder. This is for a rifle, but you could put 38 and 357 rounds on here. And notice it has this. And what I showed you earlier is you can use it on your wrist. You'd look kind of funny walking around, but you could have reloads on your wrist right here. and your workspace is right here. So if your workspace is right here, you can easily grab one like this, put it in, and you're ready to go. So let me show you once again. See if I can get this on camera, all four of these. So I'm going to show you a Taurus 66 7-shot revolver too while we're at it. That one is going to index faster because it's got more cylinders and it's got 7. Okay, so here we got this. This will be off camera. Whoops, see, I messed up on that one. Okay, you are going to mess up a little bit. But notice how fast that is, okay? Because look, your workspace is right here, okay? You could have a wristband with one of these, but look at how bulky it is. But something like this, say you're behind cover, and you run out of speed loaders, speed strips, and you just want to get run round in case somebody comes to your cover because you've shot all your 5. You shouldn't shoot all your 5 with this 357 Magnum. But let's say you did waste all your ammo. So once again, just like that. And I'm watching through the camera again, so let me do that one more time. I keep watching through the camera because I'm worried that you guys won't see it, but then I remembered that I don't have to show you the wrist. So I'm going to go back and do this again. I don't have to show you the wrist while I'm doing it. Okay, here's the wrist with the cartridges in it. See, that'll keep you out of trouble. I mean, yes, is it slower? Yes. Is it, loading one round a disadvantage? Just depends. Depends on how you use the rounds. It depends on your tactics, your cover, things like that. I like doing difficult things because I love challenges. So I love challenges, especially with revolvers, because I love conquering a challenge of any kind. Not only can you have a dump pouch, or I call it a dump pouch, but it's actually a pellet pouch for 500 pellets. Not only can you have a pouch or a wrist thing like this, but you can have, you can wear this belt loop around your chest. And a lot of people are thinking, well, somebody will see the bullets. Not necessarily. You can wear this on your lower chest, and what you can do is you can position this like a back belt where you only have this side right here in front of you, and then your jacket, say, is right here, so they can't see the bullets because the bullet's on your right side. Then when you get in a gunfight, you move it this way. Now you've got 20 rounds right here. A full power 357 that you didn't have to carry with more speed loaders, that you didn't have to carry with more speed strips. You could simply use something like this anywhere you want on your body, literally anywhere. You can wear this belt right here. Another thing, so I'm thinking about some ideas here. Here's another cartridge pouch that can fit right on your belt, and you snap it like this. And this one, you just hit this right here. So this is different than the pouch that I showed you. You could flip this open when you're in a gunfight, grab your cartridges out of here, and this one will hold quite a few. And granted, they don't, this is meant for more rifle cartridges, and then you would just grab it like this. You'd leave it hanging like this. You would have to close it. You could leave it open, and you could probably run with this, and it's still going to have the cartridges here where you can reach. So you can have this on your front side at 1 o'clock right here, 1 or 2 o'clock or something like that, or you can have it over here as a reserve. Typically, I use this one for a reserve on this side, so that way the weight balances on both sides. So I got the weight for this and the weight for something like this. Or you could do something like this, something that looks kind of silly. You know, I wore this in town. Nobody gave me any problems with it. They seen the cartridges and like, hey, it's kind of a neat little wristband you got there. But little do they know. Yeah, they probably know I'm armed. So we got this here. Excuse the dogs if you hear the dogs, okay? Anyway, this is meant for a rifle and rifle cartridges because it's got that rubber thing that goes around the stock of the rifle. But what's interesting is if you look here, if you take the rubber off, you could actually put this on your belt and do the old-time law enforcement two by two, you know, where you grab two rounds. And typically the law enforcement one, they would have a space. This one doesn't have it, but they would have this space would be empty right here, and then you'd have one empty space and then another one here, so that way you can get your index finger and your thumbs and stuff in there and grab two at a time. So you'd load two at a time. So that 5-shot revolver, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shots. So you better do something with 9 shots if you think you can. So anyway, and then with speed strips, one of the things the speed strips kind of slow you down and they give you problems. Like for instance, this is pretty much useless right here because there's not enough thickness for this and it wants to flex. And you don't want that. You want something that's solid that you can grab onto and get that round out. I'll show you what I mean. So on a speed strip like this, I'll show you. When you're putting in 2 rounds, and I go 2 by 2, for instance, let's say that this was full and you were going like this, okay? You're going like this. And then, you know, this is so that you can peel it like this. Well, notice how thin and flimsy that is. If you're in an adrenaline rush filled situation where you have to rely on this little thin piece right here to grip that, that's no good. I found what's better is ignoring this piece, right? And because I did my own trials and I found out that I'm much better if I take for a 5-shot revolver, if I do 2 and 2. Now somebody's going to say, oh my gosh, you don't have 5 shots, you only got 4. But listen to what I'm saying here. If I take this, all I have to do is flip it. I can flip it this way or this way. See that? I can flip it this way or this way. Let me show you. So I go in, 3 o'clock. You want to do these at 3 o'clock. See that? Now here's the thing. If I had done that with this, you know, the way that they set it up, most people set it up as like this. I'll show you. Most people set it up for a 5-shot revolver or a 6-shot revolver where they say you should go like this. But I don't like this method. I'll tell you why. Because this method right here, although it's common for a lot of people, when you put it in, you can get this one if the tab is on this side. That's fine. So you can go 2, and then you go 2 like this. But the problem is, I find that I make more mistakes with this, with the tab, than I do with this, something simple like this, going 2 by 2. So 2 by 2, I can do much better. Because if you do 3 in a row, what could happen is under stress, if you do 3 in a row, under stress, what could happen is as you're going in like this, or as you're going in, you know, the 3 o'clock position here, like this, what happens is sometimes the bullet can hit right here, slowing you down. That's why I don't believe in having any more than 2. Any more than 2, you should have a gap. So this one's got to come out. So I don't like that at all. So I would rather be 1 shot less and go 2 by 2 than have this thing full of 5 shots or 6 shots. I would rather just go like this. So I'm ready to rock and roll. And yes, I'm short 1 round. But hey, I almost got them all. So that's what I believe on speed strips. Now, I did do time trials for myself on this, okay? So I'm always experimenting with these. So always experimenting with these, and I'm finding out better ways and faster ways to do things, because when I do a technique, I expect no errors at all. Because if you're 100%, okay, chances are you're only going to be 99% in the real world, or 90%, okay? So it's bad enough that the real world is going to throw you off a little bit. But doing it, where there's no stress or where you're not being shot at and stuff like that, you're going to do fine. And that's why I'd rather eliminate all the stuff that slows me down, me personally. Now, you might have a different way of doing it. A cop might have a different way of doing it, but I have run this by old police officers that didn't use speed strips or speed loaders, and they told me that some of my techniques and things that I'm experimenting with are very interesting to them, because you should never stop. You should never stop thinking about something, how to make it work better, even if it is just loose ammo, even if it is just a speed strip, even if it is just a speed loader. You should constantly be studying how you can be better with this revolver, okay? So that's my belief about revolvers. And not just that, with semi-autos too. Semi-autos, there's a lot of things that can help you out to make you a little quicker, little shortcuts and stuff like that. So I'm going to put these snap caps back in these revolvers here. But I do want to show you the Taurus 66. I really love it a lot. It's got rear sights, really nice. Adjustable rear sights. And here it is right here, and we'll clear it for you. A 7-shot revolver, 357 Magnum, adjustable sights. It's got a really good grip, and also the trigger is much better than the Taurus 605. It's a much lighter trigger. I've noticed that. So now on this 7-shot revolver, notice you got 7 shots. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, that's more than 5. Okay, that's more than 6. So we're off to a good start. Now on this one, what you'll notice is you shouldn't fire all 7 shots. If you fire 7 shots in a self-defense situation, you're probably using poor tactics. You're probably not seeking cover. You're probably not trying to avoid the situation. So here's the 7-shot revolver. So what I'll do is I'll do this twice to show you how this is here. 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So I'd be grabbing from a pouch. So once again, index finger, okay? Index finger, thumb. It opens always the same way so that you can get that 1 o'clock right there. Okay, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And I'll do it one more time. Show you that I can do it. And like I said, you want to be proficient, but you don't want to wear out parts in here in this gun either. The locking lug, you don't want to keep doing this forever. You just want to make sure that every week or every 2 weeks, maybe just cycle 14 rounds through here, which is 2 reloads, just to make sure that you're proficient with that. Okay, my friends, so that is what I have to say about these revolvers. The good thing about this revolver now is you'll have their standard 357 Magnum rounds, which are anywhere from 5 to 600 foot-pounds of energy in a 4-inch barrel, which this is a 4-inch barrel. But what a lot of people don't know is the original 357 Magnum had 200 foot-pounds more, but they downgraded it because they were worried because of these right here, these ultralights. So at some time, the 357 Magnum cartridge was downloaded and made a little bit watered down, even though it's still powerful, so that people wouldn't blow up these guns and stuff. And according to Buffalo Bore and Underwood, and even the manufacturer, you can shoot Buffalo Bore and Underwood in here, but the problem is you could get set back with the bullet from the recoil. So there's some risks that could be associated with that. But overall, you can shoot them, but I don't really think something lightweight like this and has less metal. I don't really think Buffalo Bore or Underwood is a good diet for this one. But this one, on the other hand, I think is fine for a steady diet of Buffalo Bore and Underwood, because it's a lot thicker, a lot stronger. And these were the size of 357 Magnums, the 4-inch barrel, and the steel ones that when the 357 Magnum came out, that could handle the ones that were 700 some foot-pounds of energy out of a 4-inch barrel, and 600 foot-pounds or 550 or something like that out of them 2-inch snubbies. So anyway, hope you appreciate the video. And yeah, I love this 7-shot. I got this one for $4.49. So what you're getting for $4.99 or $4.49 is you're getting a big piece of steel, stainless, with adjustable sights, 7-shot magazine or 7-shot cylinder, okay, and a big old rubber grip here so you can hang on to the thing. So I think anybody that's out there that needs a first gun, if they don't mind heavy trigger pulls on revolvers, this would be a great first time gun for home defense for somebody that doesn't like operating slides, doing different functions like clearing malfunctions and stuff like on semi-autos, and having problems with different types of ammo and stuff. This is perfect because you can pick your energy with this. You can start off at 150 foot-pounds and go all the way up to 750. So you can pick your loads and your range. Store-bought loads have certain ranges, but reloads have certain ranges too. So if you're shooting just your 158 grain lead round nose through this, it's only like maybe a couple 100 foot-pounds of energy. It shoots like a 22. Shoots like a 22, but you get a bigger bullet. So let me see if I can grab one here. Let's see here. And I'll grab a 22 mag. So here you got 38, 158 grain. And you got the 22 Magnum right here. This is a 40 grain Spear Gold Dot. And don't get me wrong, this one here, 13 and a half inches of penetration. It will expand, and it will create probably 125 foot-pounds or something like that. So it's really no joke, for a 1 7/8 inch barrel, okay? But you look at the size here, if we're going for head and heart, the heart is going to bleed out just a little bit more with this one here. And of course, with hollow points and 357 Magnum, just blow that thing right out. Heart and head drills, your failure drills. And then also I practice appendix. A lot of people have forgotten about appendix, that you can shoot for appendix for somebody that isn't armed, might have a knife or something, might have hands. And you can go for the appendix to disable them so that you can get away. It's not for everybody, but some people might choose it, some people might not. Some older law enforcement still go for that appendix in their training, their private training they do for themselves. And I do too. When I have a target, I practice spine, heart, head, and appendix area. And the pelvis region, where the bone is and stuff, the pelvic girdle, they call it. There's a bone structure in there, but not just that. If the bone structure gets hit, it's going to be hard for them to walk. But not just that, the pelvis, let's say if this is the pelvis right here, and this is the center of your chest, the pelvis region is really dense with nerves. Ask your wife if she had a baby. you have a lot of nerves in your pelvis, which means you can experience a lot of pain compared to your upper chest and stuff like that, because the nerves are more dense down in your pelvis region than most places on your body. So that's why the pelvis works sometimes, because a guy gets hit in the pelvis, the first thing he's going to do is take his hand and press on his pelvis and lean over and go, oh, like that. And he might live, or you might hit an artery or something. But for some of you, maybe that's an option. I believe in having some kind of a pepper spray and maybe a knife or something. Less lethal right here. Close quarters if you can't draw. I got that usually on my left side if I can't draw. This is more geared towards, let's say somebody's really drunk or something, and they're coming after you, but they can't chase you or anything. But, they don't have a knife, they don't have a gun. You can just, get away from me, that kind of thing, take off. So it's up to you guys what you want to do. So I kind of like this knife here because you can adjust it up and down, and it's got the clip. You put it inside the waistband, outside the waistband. You can adjust it like this. You can set the tension here. So it does have retention. It's not a real good system of retention. It'll probably wear out over time, but when you push this forward like this, you can get it to lock and stuff. You can get it to lock really tight so that somebody can't grab the knife except for you. So think of this as a safari land for knives. You can call it that. What is the product called? Ledoc Edge, and you can rotate it different angles, and then you can take this off up and down. Then it comes with a chain. You can wear it as a necklace. You can put it on this side. You could be inside the waistband, outside the waistband, right side, left side. So there's a lot of options with little knives like these that swivel. And the whole purpose of this is just to get away so you can get your firearm. So if I'm holding it like this, I can use this as a deterrent to get that person away from me so that I can reach my firearm, that kind of thing. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, you guys.